You know, a lot of men, a lot of good men think that women like being in abusive relationships, whether it's physical or emotional. And a lot of women, they're abusive as well. And anytime you admit that or even say that, women have a huge problem with that. And that's because, they want to keep the perception going that they're this perfect, innocent angel creature that, loves good guys and wants to be in a great, stable relationship, which for the most of them, I don't really think that's true. You know, you hear so many stories about women being in long term relationships, long term abusive relationships. Shit, sometimes I think that they're in abusive relationships longer than they're in stable relationships, whether they like to admit that or not. And I've seen too many stories of that happening. And, you know, the funny thing about that shit is it seems like most women, like when they're in a abusive relationship, they're just in there for a very long time and they don't even fight back. They don't try to leave. It's you never hear stories about, okay, she was in a relationship with this guy, he put her hands on her one time and she left. Now there is this one girl I do follow on Instagram who was in an abusive relationship and she stabbed him. She stabbed him. He was a drug dealer. She didn't know he was a drug dealer, and I believe her on that because she doesn't really come off as one of these, you know, lying ass females. But he attacked her and she stabbed him. And ever since then, he's been gone. So I commend her for that because she actually stood up to her abuser. And I commend women that leave too. But the women out there that stay in long term abusive relationships, I do not support that. And I do not support the excuses that they use not to leave. But here's an example of a woman in a quote unquote long term abusive relationship. And not too long ago, she had posted pictures of her with hickeys on her neck. So obviously, she must like the abuse. And now she's on on social media begging people to support her, especially because of the coronavirus. And 9 times out of 10, guarantee she'll get back with him. So don't be a sucker. Do not, I repeat, do not try to comfort these women in abusive relationships because 9 times out of 10 they're going to go back to him, and if you were to date them they would leave you at the drop of a dime, whereas these guys, they can do so many things and they'll be in relationships with them for the long haul.